Here are two important things that you should keep in mind when you request religious exemption from the requirement to be vaccinated against COVID-19 at your workplace. The first important point is this: make sure that your behavior, your actions, and your statements, both in person to your coworkers and also online, are not inconsistent with your request for that exemption and with your claimed religion. Let me give you just two common examples. The first example is this. Let's say you tell your coworkers, or maybe you post the following type of comments on social media. I don't believe in God. I'm not religious. All religions are stupid and pointless. Well, if your employer finds out about those types of opinions of yours, they're going to have a much harder time believing that your request for religious exemption is truthful. Now, why is this important? Under Title VII, your employer only has to consider accommodating your religious beliefs if they are quote-unquote sincerely held. Now, under normal circumstances, it's very easy to show that your religious belief is sincere. You don't have to prove anything. Your belief is presumed to be sincere, even if you don't claim to belong to a major organized religion. You can have your own religion, however novel and unique it might be. You can have your own set of religious beliefs, and they are presumed to be sincere. It's almost impossible to challenge that unless you explicitly say or write things that are inconsistent with the religion that you're trying to rely on when requesting a religious exemption. So make sure you don't say anything like that and you don't post anything like that on social media, because it is going to raise an eyebrow in your employer. It's going to make them doubt the veracity of your request for religious exemption, and the chances of them denying your request will be much higher. And here's the second example of information that you might be posting that will be inconsistent or might be inconsistent with your request for exemption. Let's say you share with your coworkers or you post online information about how you don't believe in vaccines, or you don't think this vaccine is safe or effective, or how you don't like mandates for various scientific, societal, or political reasons. You might or might not be right, but the issue is not that. The issue is that, again, your employer is going to start wondering if they find out about those opinions. They're going to start wondering, are you really claiming a religious exemption, or is the true reason you don't want to get vaccinated is because of all these political or scientific opinions? Remember, under the law, your employer doesn't have to accommodate your scientific or political opinions, however valid and well-reasoned they might be. They only have to accommodate or consider accommodating your sincerely held religious belief. And here's the second important point to keep in mind. The whole process of requesting an accommodation and finding a solution should be flexible from the perspective of both the employee requesting an accommodation and the employer. Both sides should exercise some degree of flexibility in order to find a compromise, a solution that, while might not be perfect, but it will work for both sides. Let me give you an example. Let's say your employer says, fine, we're granting you your religious exemption, you don't have to get vaccinated, but we require that you get tested for COVID every week. And you say, no, every week is too much. How about I get tested once every 2 weeks? And the employer says, no, that's not enough. How about you get tested once every 10 days? You're not 100% happy. They're not 100% happy, but you agree on this testing once every 10 days. And guess what? You just earned yourself, you just relieved yourself of an extra testing requirement per month, meaning on average you'll be tested 3 times instead of 4 times per month, which is nicer for you. And you found a solution that worked for everyone. You were flexible, the employer were flexible, you worked out a solution. This is much better than taking the opposite approach and saying it's either my way or no way. Meaning the employer tells you you have to get tested every week and you say, no, I'm not getting tested. Well, you're have all the rights to refuse to get tested, but if you want to find a solution that works for you and for your employer and allows you to continue working for that employer, then being flexible, being at least somewhat flexible, and being reasonable, understanding the challenges of the other side will go a long way. Let me give you another example for the same point. Let's say your employer says that, fine, we're granting you religious exemption, you don't have to get vaccinated, but you cannot work in the office. You have to work remotely 100% of the time. And you feel that given your position and given your job duties, it's very important for you to be in the office at least every now and then. So you come back and you say, how about I come to the office twice a week or once a week, and I only work during those specific hours when there's nobody in the office or very few people are in the office, to reduce any type of risk of infection and transmission. Or how about I work in that separate area that you guys have away from everyone? How about I come to the office one afternoon a week and I don't know, maybe I wear a mask in common areas. You should feel free to offer any type of creative solution in this type of dialogue. And you should also be open to considering any type of solution that your employer will propose, because that's how you would accomplish a compromise or a solution that works for everyone and allows you to continue working for that company and enjoy all the things that you would presumably enjoy. Keep these two important things in mind when requesting an exemption, a religious exemption from the requirement to be vaccinated, not necessarily against COVID-19, but from the requirement to get any type of vaccination at workplace. Thank you.